Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. In this video, I want us to do a critical analysis of Raila Odinga's rally earlier today at Jacaranda grounds. Because if you ask me, that rally is significant politically speaking, and the entire country was actually looking forward to it. Remember, today we had two different rallies. There was the rally in Narok, which was presided over by William Samoei Arap Ruto, and then there was the rally at Jacaranda grounds, which was presided over by Raila Odinga. But the rally in Narok did not really attract much attention. The attention of the country was focused on Jacaranda. So I want us to look at that particular rally. And let me begin by asking you this question. What's your opinion about the Jacaranda rally today? Do you think that rally achieved its objective? So before we get into all those details, in case you're watching the channel for the first time, I want you guys to take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support, because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. And again, beginning tomorrow, we are going to go live. We are going to begin again our live stream from 8 in the evening. So guys, get ready. And our topic will actually be Raila Odinga's latest game plan, and probably the Wafula Chebukati and Cherera groups. I can see most of you guys are now back. Now, let us begin this analysis. And I want to begin by the reception. How was Raila Odinga received at Jacaranda? If you ask me, Jacaranda was massive. It was better than Kamkunji. The next stop will be in Kibra. I'll be waiting to see how Kibra will turn out. But for me, if you ask me, Raila Odinga is actually using this to comb Nairobi. And because the reception was so massive, William Ruto was forced to respond that there's someone somewhere who is sponsoring these activities. And that person is sponsoring these activities because he's not paying taxes. I'll do another analysis about that. So it basically means that William Ruto, Rigathi Gachagua, and Kenya Kwanza brigades were actually shaken by that particular rally. The fact of the matter is that if you look at the way Raila Odinga was received, the tone of the rally before Raila Odinga arrived, something must be done. Especially, William Ruto must do something if he wants to survive. That's number one. Number two, let us look at the people who attended this rally. Again, Martha Karua was there. Again, Kalonzo Musyoka was there. Oparanya was there. Wajakoya, and several other leaders. What does it tell you? It tells you one thing, that Azimio is keen on maintaining their unity. I know the next move by William Ruto would be to try and divide or separate Azimio leaders. But who can he pick from that pack? I don't see Kalonzo Musyoka leaving Raila Odinga. Because if you ask me, Kalonzo Musyoka is looking forward to inheriting Raila Odinga's support base. What about Oparanya? Oparanya might go, but I'm not so sure. But even if he were to leave, what position will he play in Kenya Kwanza? There was Eugene Wamalwa. If you ask me, Eugene Wamalwa is headed for great things ahead. And I'm foreseeing something, that Raila Odinga might actually not run for the presidency in 2027. And that is grooming Wamalwa, likely to be paired by Kalonzo. So if you have a Kalonzo ticket, and either Oparanya or Eugene paired, then with the support of Raila, game shot. So I'm looking at it from that perspective. And that's why Oparanya might not leave. That's why Eugene might not leave. Of course, Eugene has those traditional beefs with William Ruto. Let us go to the third thing, which is the strategy. What is Raila Odinga's strategy of late from what I've observed? I tend to think that Raila Odinga is currently using these political events to respond to William Ruto. Because, Raila Odinga, like today, he held this rally. Then William Ruto will have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. He will have a few activities here, national events, and he will be able to respond to whatever Raila said. And then next time, Raila Odinga responds to him. That's why in the last rally, Raila Odinga actually responded to William Ruto's claim on the abduction of Wafula Chebukati. That was last week. This week, he responded again. Raila Odinga responded again to the issue of Uhuru. Actually, that was also last week when he told Ruto to leave Uhuru Kenyatta alone. Today, Raila Odinga responded to again William Ruto, who claimed that because Raila Odinga had told him, nobody wanted to assassinate or to eliminate Wafula Chebukati. Then Ruto came and responded that what about those who are in Rivayala, blah, blah. And today, Raila Odinga was very candid with with the president, that he doesn't have any moral authority to talk about any political elimination in this country. Because the people who eliminated Yebei, and he also challenged him to show Kenyans where the people who are witnesses at ICC are currently. I don't know how Ruto is going to respond, but if you ask me, Kenya Kwanza is also coming up with a new strategy, and in that strategy, they're trying to do one thing. They're not trying to leave Raila Odinga, but focus more on Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. So that's the strategy. Raila Odinga is actually using these rallies to respond to Ruto. And this is something which most of us said and advised previously, that the only way to deal with Ruto is to respond to him. Because if you allowed him, the way they allowed him before 2022 election, Ruto was saying so many things, and nobody was responding. Because there was the fear that Raila Odinga wanted to be a statesman, responding with Ruto was not going to be the right thing. And by the time they started responding, it was late. This is the right strategy. Raila must begin responding to Ruto. And to agree with that, let me just read for you a post which I saw on Wambugu Ngunjiri's Facebook page, which I think was so nice of him. Not really so nice, but it was actually the truth. Wambugu is saying, the hype and the language being used to push for tomorrow's Jacaranda rally is how we should have campaigned. Right thing, wrong time. I don't want to agree. Okay, according to Wambugu, this is how they should have campaigned. And actually, that's how they should have campaigned. But he's saying that right thing at the wrong time. The truth of the matter is that is what they should maintain. Responding to Ruto right now. Everything he says, you respond. So that he can't be given the space to lie. Because if you allow Ruto to lie, then Kenyans will buy those lies. Basically, that is, in my view, that is the strategy. Now, the game plan. What is the game plan? That's one thing which most people are asking. What is Raila Odinga's game plan with all this? For me, if you ask me, the game plan is simple. Raila Odinga is trying to build a serious resistance movement. And that movement is going to result in a few things. The first thing is going to result to is resistance. Like Ruto is saying that Uhuru is not paying tax. And because he's not paying tax, he will have to pay. And he's also saying that Raila and Uhuru are doing this because of their families. So the game plan Raila Odinga has is that he's going to build a resistance. They're also going to identify companies which is associated with William Ruto. And once they identify those companies which are associated with William Ruto, then they are likely to advise their supporters to resist. If it's a serious corporate and you ask people to resist, at the end of the day, there are people who are going to resist and the business is going to hurt. They don't want to do that. Ruto would not want to go that direction. Already, for example, Safaricom, William Ruto has strategically placed that Muindi guy who is his business associate as the chair of the board. He removed Uhuru person. What message do you think he was sending? And again, a mysterious individual bought shares. Someone ensured that Safaricom shared reached the lowest point. Then someone bought those shares. Then the shares then went back. So in my view, I think they are going to come up with this resistance. They'll be identifying issues, then developing resistance, and ultimately that resistance will lead to a major rally at Arambe House. If not Arambe House, at State House. If you ask me. And then the other thing which is coming out clearly is that these guys are also trying to build the momentum for 2027 election. Based on Jacaranda grounds, the message is very clear that Raila Odinga's victory was stolen. The other message is very clear that Ruto made promises is not fulfilling. The other thing is also coming out very clearly that youths are not employed. And that's why you saw Raila giving chance to Nuru and Gaucho to speak. And from the way the ground reacted to Nuru Okanga's speech and Gaucho, Calvin, you could tell that it's basically developing a momentum for 2022. And number 6, which is also significant, Raila Odinga also mentioned the issue of Wafula Chebukati's bribery. You know, Wafula Chebukati, I just saw him on TV yesterday saying how the last election was the best. William Ruto is trying to make Wafula Chebukati appear as if he's a hero. Raila Odinga is claiming that his victory was stolen. So Raila Odinga, in one way or the other, must prove that indeed his victory was stolen. How can he prove that? That there were bribery allegations. And if there were bribery allegations, can he produce evidence that Wafula Chebukati actually went to his house? Wafula Chebukati will have to tell Kenyans that I went to Raila Odinga's house because I wanted to do this, especially the 3 commissioners, that we went to visit Baba because Baba was sick, and as responsible Kenyans, we just decided to go and visit him. Simple. Then he will have to go and explain why and how they ended up in Rafael Tuju's house. Otherwise, once those video evidences are released, then they'll shut up. And lastly, Raila Odinga, based on my understanding and his speech, is also deciding that the Cherera 4 tribunal is actually a waste of public funds. And to prove his point, Raila Odinga went and linked Muchelule, Chebukati, and Weta as relatives, all in-laws. And therefore, it means the outcome of that tribunal is basically going to be predetermined. Remember, I was listening to one of our vernacular stations the other day, and Willis Ochieng Pikipiki Ponki was there. He was explaining that the likes of Arin Masit, Cherera, knew the person who was going to lead that tribunal. Muchelule, they knew even before the appointments were made, and that these guys were actually forced. In fact, even Nani made those statements, Kioni. So let us wait and see. But my advice to Ruto, please, you'll require God's grace to deal with Raila Odinga, because he's going to respond to you. The other day, you claimed he wants a handshake. He told you he doesn't want publicly. The fact that he told you that publicly is also significant. Today, you are saying his rallies are sponsored by someone who is not paying tax. Then the next day, they'll tell you if the guy is evading tax, please go for him. So instead of making noise, just go for him. I don't know what you think. That's my take. Thank you guys, and may you have a good day. Bye-bye.